Awesome blossom.
All right, we're ready to go. How are you all? It's Dr. Brenda, sociologist, financial coach, founder of Gutsy Women Finances Community, coming at you from Karchner Cavern State Park in Arizona. This is my last day here. I'm in the desert, and we've actually had rain and pretty cool temperatures the last few days. So yeah, so I'm still got my hoodie on again. Janine, take it away.
Hi guys, Janine here, and I once again am up in the Yukon. Brenda, I love your introduction, and it's just inspired me. Next time I'm going to come on with a bit of a bedazzler, a great glorious intro. But for now, you've just got the plain one, which is, hi, I'm Janine McJanet. I'm a hypnotherapist and I'm an empowerment coach, and I love helping women bust through. What do I like helping women bust through is limiting beliefs and negative thoughts. And we are doing this alphabet game for fun, for pleasure, to share back and forth, to see, for connection, for all things glorious. And today is the letter G.
It is the letter G.
I don't know how to do a letter G.
Yeah, it's I just forgot what I was going to say.
Well, I just want to maybe start it off then, because, gutsy. That's it. Gutsy women. I want you to take it away there, because what we have to gain from knowing a gutsy woman who glows every time we see her is good. And it explains to us that there's a lot of growth going on. So we want to just sort of giggle our way into that and grab some of your gifts of wisdom.
Ooh, I really like that term gutsy. I don't know if people use it as much anymore as they did, but it entails taking some risks and following your heart, regardless of what others think about it. They're like, what do you mean you're leaving your house? You're gonna live in an RV, but what about the cats? But what about this? And it's just like that with everything that we do that's really important to us. We have to be gutsy to do that. And I had another word down here, simple word of go.
Good.
Because this is what stops us. We talk about being gutsy. We talk about the things we're going to do, but then you got to go. Ready, set. You're ready. You're set. Oh, I'm never quite ready. I don't know if I'm set. Just go. Just go. That's what you got to do, is you got to take the action. Not everything turns out, but you never know until you try. You never know.
Yeah. And it's true. Stop, go, stop, go. What's holding you back? I'm putting that question out there for wherever you are in this world, catching the live, if it's on replay or not. What makes you go? And I love that you brought that up, because I remember when I first started my journey of growth, personal growth and development. What I did was I was gaining weight, and life was it was pleasant. At least I thought it was pleasant. I look back and go, oh, maybe it wasn't. But at that moment in time, I thought that it was really pleasant. And I had a lot of gratitude around for just being there. But I was gaining weight, constantly. I was drinking, I was having fun. I had 2 kids, but something didn't feel right. And this is the first time in my life that I said, I'm going to just grab life by the Gregorious whatever. And I'm going to do something for myself. So I went to a health farm in Australia for a week. And the first day, and it was hot, it was like eating healthy. There was great people. It was beautiful on the ocean, no drinking. I'm going, oh gosh, how can I go there for a week without drinking? I'm going to, sneak out. And I'm like, no, just like go with it. Really beautiful food. There was lovely presenters. I learned a lot. But back to the word go, and trying to keep it simple and quick here, was on the first afternoon, boiling hot outside. We went up to the tennis courts, and this boot camp leader, she just like working us out. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so hot, so humid. I'm not used to that. And it was good. It was killing me inside, but I had the face on, yeah, I can do this. I can do this. And then we went for a walk on the beach, and that very trainer, she came up to me and she's like, how's it going? That's what they say. How's it going? How's it going? Not how's it doing or how's it feeling? Just how's it going? And I said, it's great. It's great. She goes, I can really see in you, Janine, that you've got, an on switch, a go, but you don't know how to stop. And that was pivotal in my life. So the go stop bit is like, I could go and go and go, but I didn't know where I was going. It was just like full on, let's just tackle whatever without that game plan in my head. So this is really what kind of helped me to understand that you need to have goals. That's a big one for coaches. You need to have goals and understand that you need to move towards them and not
So,
just anywhere.
so can we back up a bit? Because something had to switch inside of you to tell you that, you know what, and you chose a retreat. So you chose sort of a retreat, but like for me too, I was in a place where I mean, I can just say I was miserable, and the weight had a lot to do with it too, but I didn't have the lifestyle I wanted. And so what is it that switched, that made you say, I've got to do something kind of drastic? Was there one particular thing? Was it
It was
just,
it was an accumulation of things. It was like just having have had enough, and there was no change. There was no self-satisfaction. There was no direction in my life. I was working in a corporate job, and it was just like day to day to day to day. I didn't have the goals of what I could do in this life. I still had a very youthful mindset that life lasts forever.
so
So
do you remember what your big goal was coming out of the retreat?
it was to become healthy and help people become healthy. And part of it was this meeting that I had. One of the presenters was a Zen Buddhist monk who used to go to a boys' school next to where I went to the girls' school down in Sydney, because I went to school in Sydney. He was just a young fellow, and he did a presentation, and he was a yogi as well. And he did this crazy yoga, and I was just like, wow, that's pretty cool. And he goes, I don't want to talk about the yoga, just want to talk about mindfulness. And you could book each of these presenters. So I said, I'm going to talk to him tonight. And so I went in there all coy and shy. I'm like, oh, hi. He's like, hi. And I said, I just like your yoga stuff. The first thing that comes out. And then we spent an hour and a half by the fireplace. And he asked me some of the most potent questions that I've ever been asked. And the first one was, and I share it, and I don't know if you can see my goosebumps, but they're coming back, is like, tell me what you do every day. And so I went through this. So I do this. I'm up in a rush, kids, blah, 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 work back. He's like, whoa, there's the go, right? Just go. And so he stopped me, and he gently just said, now break it down a little bit as to what you do. And so I was like, and he said, you just cruise by work, 8 hours of your day. You just said one word, work, and then. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, now what do you want to do? What do you really want to do with your day? And that's the first time. I'm almost getting emotional. It's the first time that anybody had given me permission to really think about what I want, including myself. So we spent the next hour talking about what a perfect day would be like. And I realized after that, I said, it's not that far out of my grasp. It's there. I just have to go and for what I want to. That's how I'm going to grow.
Yeah.
So I started becoming more mindful. I started, learning about nutrition, becoming a coach in it, and bit by bit by bit, it was a seed that was really deeply planted, I guess. So yeah.
Yeah. I feel like I was in a very similar place where all I had was this enormous workload, and I could work as fast as I could, as hard as I could. And I asked for staff, couldn't get staff. What I did clearly wasn't valued by the organization. But when I looked at my time, for me, and I'm working on a speech, and it's really based on the fact that I was dependent on bringing in grant funds. And so I'd bring in more grants, bring in more money, that's that, so I could get more work. And then I never got the staff to help with the work. And it ended up in this cycle, but I had to report, document my time by every 15 minutes. And so that was sort of like, the timesheet would come at the end of the week, and you'd make shit up and get your, bill your best guess and do all this stuff. But it was like 15 minutes. And at some point it's like, what a stupid ass way to measure time. What a stupid ass way to measure my life. Because when you
Yeah.
talk about time, it's your life.
Yeah.
You cannot separate the two.
Yeah.
And
Totally.
once you begin to think, yeah, you know what? How do I want to spend my time? I got to make money, right?
Mhm.
So, maybe I am going to choose to focus on making as much money as I can in the shortest amount of time to get out. Or maybe I'm going to make sure I have breaks. So maybe I'm going to take a year off and do something wild. But we don't stop and think about the time. We get caught up on that hamster wheel and we go and we go and we go. And it's oftentimes not until something crappy happens that we're like, we have to pause and stop. I mean, I got fired. I fired myself from my job, and it's like, now what?
Mhm.
Now what?
What's the
But
game plan?
how? Yeah, I mean, it's like we could have asked ourselves these questions a long time ago. We didn't.
Yeah. No, but it is in the awakening, right? It is in the awakening that we start to be really curious about what our possibilities are. And you mentioned a really good point there. Is like the um, dependency on others. Dependency on something to just help us move through and go, right? And you talked about time and money, and it's like this cycle. You call it's the go cycle. We all come into this world and we're just young, beautiful little innocent babies, and then right from as soon as we get out in the world in our own, in nursery school or whatever it is, we're taught that you have to do and do and do and go and go and go and don't worry about exactly what you want, because you have to fit into this like cage here. So you've got to, you got to be smart, you got to go to school, you got to learn history and math and science, and then get a degree, get married, get kids, a car, da da da. And so this goal or this game plan that we're kind of fed to us as we're growing up in this pressured society, it becomes something that we forget about what we really want. And so I've got super gratitude for being able to step out a bit and go, this isn't my path, you know. Sure, I got sucked into it for a while because of the golden handcuffs that are promised. You're going to have a great life when you retire. You'll have money to do things. But what happens? We don't have the time when we retire necessarily, right? We have some time, but
We
who
may
knows?
not retire. I mean, this is I mean, I remember being called into the office. I mean, we were all called into the conference room, and we were told that the librarian passed away in her sleep. We count on, I'm going to do it when I'm going to do it when the kids are off to college. I'm going to do it when I retire. I'm going to do it when I got that money in the bank. And we
Yeah,
keep saying when, and when never comes. Or by the time when comes, we're in poor health. We're not in, or people have died.
yeah,
And so that's the other thing is, because I want to go back to what you'd said at the very beginning, but the word is gift. So, when I don't think I saw life as a gift. I saw life as a chore for a
yeah.
large part of my life.
Yes.
It's I got to get up and I got to do this, and then the weekends come and I've got to take care of laundry and the kid and the house and the yard and groceries, and then I got to start it all over again. And what being out here on the road and be taking that gutsy step to envision a different life,
Mhm.
I now see gifts.
Yeah,
I see sunrises and sunsets as gifts.
yeah,
Yes, I hear the rain and the falling in the desert. That's a gift.
yeah,
My flexibility of time is a gift. The smile I can put on my face is a gift. And it's a huge shift to make, to begin to think about these gifts that we have in our life and to see them as gifts
mhm.
rather than, oh, isn't that nice? Isn't
Next, let's go. Yeah. Oh, that's so great. Didn't mean to say great, but it's really about being in the moment and appreciation and gratitude, right? Of what we have. And we hear that all the time, but we get so caught up in this go cycle and we just want to go until, the time comes. So recalling back in the days of corporate, it was. And when I first sat with that young man, that Zen Buddhist, and he said, tell me about your day. Well, I get up, I'm quiet because the kids are asleep, and I have a shower quickly and quietly. I get out, I grab some lunch, and I go to work, and then I come home from work. And he's like, whoa, slow down. And it's not the first time that anybody said that to me, because I can get quite energetic and anxious about wanting to get to that next level. So yeah, it is about slowing down and being there, and not trying to wait. And you speak about 15-minute chunks, you speak about day chunks, daily chunks, and weeks. Like, we're so segregated into these time blocks. At Monday, I mean, there was a big thing out here, Mondayitis, can't go to work because Sunday was a big drinking day or whatever, right? Mondayitis, people would call in sick. And then by Friday, everyone's ready to kick in again, whatever the addiction is, whether it's drinking or booze or food or just ignoring things.
Well,
that's what happens. You numb yourself out just to get going.
Today is St. Patrick's Day. Green beer, green. I don't know what you guys do up there, but it's a big drinking day in the US.
I think it's a drinking day in a lot of the world, but I mean, if you drink, you see it. And if you don't, you don't, which is pretty interesting, unless you watch the news, which I don't do anymore. But yeah, it's an excuse. It's a day off. It's a holiday. Let's drink, get drunk. Green. What is going on in your part of the world for St. Patrick's Day?
I am, I feel like I'm not part of the world sometimes. I mean, I got the cats and I'm looking outside and I'm in a state park. People are not, well, first of all, you're not allowed to, I think, openly imbibe, but I'm with a different crowd of people. These are folks who generally love nature and love being outside there. I mean, it is Friday, so, maybe there'll be some party folks in the evening, but generally I'm almost like living in my own world sometimes. I like it for the most part, but I have to admit to being out of touch. I mean, I'll watch the news and it's like, wow, that's really depressing. No wonder why I don't watch the news.
Yeah.
But I know that in the larger cities and in my old life, today would be a heavy day of drinking, taking off early and hitting the bars and getting drunk. I mean, let's face it, that it's not just about drinking, it's about the drunk. Oh,
there's so much in my head right now, but there's so much, oh, it's the word. It's like, so Guinness just came to my head. It's not about Guinness, but it's just like getting together. There's like, people love connection. Okay, that's what it's at. It's connection. So public holiday or not, we want to connect. That's our birth need. It's our inherent need is to connect.
One of the words I wrote down was games. Mm-hmm. So, and when I think about it, it's a lot of the things that, like, I've got friends in Virginia, and it wasn't that unusual for us. Okay, it's a bad weather day. Let's all get together. Let's play some board games. Yeah. And we would have a lot of fun doing that. But it represents the simple things in life that you don't, when it comes right down to it, that's a really honest, great way to connect is with games. And we have a good time, and you generally don't need to be playing drinking games. You can play there's so many fun games out there, but it speaks to me the simplicity of life and how we can connect for little cost and healthy. We can go walking together. We can do things, but there's so much of our social life is like, well, let's go have lunch. Well, you're probably eating, and that's not always a good way. You're spending money. Let's go do happy hour. Let's go do this. And it's like, sometimes it's just a walk. Like, if you and I could just, I hope we get the chance to meet someday.
We will.
I could imagine us just walking. I've got us in our heads, and we're walking on the coastline of the ocean, and it's a beautiful day, and we hear the waves, and we're just walking and chatting and smiling. That's life. Yeah. That's it for me.
It's it. And it's so spectacular. It's brilliant. It's that letter that you've got hiding behind your head there is to be, just to allow ourselves to be. I like that. That's new.
No, it's been there since I got this. It's B for Brenda, and it has a bird on it, and it's just very nature and intricate. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? So no, that's been behind my head since that was one of the
Okay.
first things I got when I redecorated the RV. A big
Okay.
B,
I
like Mary
do.
Tyler Moore's got her M in the background. I'm like, yes, I got my B.
Yeah. I love it. It's gorgeous. And it is, but it's also presence, right? It's just to be, because we're human beings, not human doings. We hear that all the time. It's not groundbreaking news. It's just that we have to be more in the moment. And when we come back to just like, how can we grow? Last week, we talked about the fixed mindset, and now growth mindset is something that's very obviously aligned with what we're doing and what many of you guys are doing out there. It's just learning to grow. You wouldn't be here watching us if you weren't interested in growing and connecting and being. So speaking about growth mindset, what do you think is one of your biggest tips to give, because that's also important in the G world, is to give to people who are looking to grow? What's that big tip?
You know, there goes Dolly. There's my sweet girl. Um, there's I think he's a podcaster, a speaker. I think he goes, what is his name? Jacko. But he says good. Good is his word. So when bad things happen, he's like, good. You know, you're getting a divorce. Good. Because there's something going on that is going to be good in the future.
Benefit.
And you got fired. Good. Now you can do whatever I mean,
The
and so
opportunity.
part of this is the resilience, which is a skill. I mean, bad stuff happens to all of us. And at that point, we have a decision to make. It doesn't feel like a decision. It feels like maybe we've been stomped on, ground to the floor. We're just, and that's okay. It's okay to sit and let things rest, let things percolate. But you have to believe that there's a reason for something happening, that there is a possibility. There's a door there that we have to walk through, or at least open. And in terms of growth, you've used this word a lot. You talk about curiosity. So that's a huge part of it, But the other thing is, one of the things I learned when I first came out here in an RV all by myself was to allow emotions in, rather than being, okay, I'm mom and I'm just gonna, I gotta pretend everything's good. I gotta put on a strong face. I'm the leader. And I just, especially at the first 3 months, it's like I could feel panic. I could feel sadness. I'm just like, let it in. And we get so used to putting out this appearance that we're the tough, we've got everything under control. And it's okay to just fall apart sometimes. It's okay to take, I mean, you've seen me where I'm like, I'm done with this shit. I'm going to quit. And I just have to like walk and take a day off, but allow those emotions in and realize that they're pushing you in another direction. And they're going to push you up to a door. Are you going to stand there with the door shut? Or are you going to open it up and see what's there? Because God, yeah, we've been kicked out. Life is hard sometimes.
Of course, but we're meant to do hard. That's why we survived all those millions of sperm. The part of us, it's like we're fighters. We're meant to do hard. And it's a belief that we have that we can't do that. We can't do something. I can't do it, or this is too hard for me, that keeps us in that cage of complacency. I love that you brought that up, that letting emotions in it's so important in the process of growth. Letting emotions in and also letting emotions out. It's like, what are you feeling? Because for so many of us on this go cycle, it's just like we are focused on things that may not meet our absolute desire, right? they meet other people's expectations. Maybe we're a people pleaser. We're just trying to make everybody happy. And so what happens is those feelings that come up, that start to come up, that percolate, we stuff them back down and we ignore them. And then they just grow and grow and grow until boom, they'll come out. Maybe in anger, maybe in frustration. And then we're not living in alignment, we're not living authentic lives, we're not being genuine.
Yeah.
There's the G word. We're not
Yeah.
being genuine. So it's letting those emotions in and allowing them out. So feeling them. And every day, like as much as you can, my recommendation is just like, I've even got a timer on my phone. How are you feeling, Janine? On sporadic times, 2 or 3 times a day, it'll come up. How are you feeling, Janine? What can you do to really love yourself? And it gives me that reminder to stop the go cycle and just go, oh, take some deep breaths, whatever it is.
Well, the other piece of this is, we learn all of this stuff in childhood. So, I mean, my background is, German, and it was about holding your emotions in. I didn't hear terms of affection until I was much older in my life. You don't hug, you don't kiss, you don't usually say I love you. So, we all come from different backgrounds. And I know when I had my kid, I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna have to really work hard to show affection, because you tend to repeat those things that you experienced as a child.
Mhm.
So when you
Cycle.
think about your childhood, I know it's been tough too, but how has that impacted the way that you express yourself, and how did that impact, like,
Oh, it's
I mean,
huge.
yeah, I mean,
It's huge. And
because
that's why
you
I'm
had to
like
be,
doing
you
the
were
work
the
on,
adult. You were
yeah.
the adult to your mom, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically.
So that's how I grew up. And like very soon, like I'm finding a lot more memories, subconscious memories, as I'm doing this hypnotherapy work and having it done in myself in this learning cycle. But it is absolutely the truth that our childhood unmet needs go with us into adulthood until we have that curiosity to grow some more and go, wait, why is this holding me back? Why aren't I doing this? Why am I reacting or saying or doing or even not doing that? So absolutely, the childhood patterns, control was mine. I was given, here's another, given on a golden plate. Here, Janine, darling, can you please just control the girls and look after me? Not in those words. And so I lost a lot of my playful youth, which is why I'm so much about play right now. It's like, oh, I gave away, I tried to please. I control was a thing that was given to me, and now it's necessary because it just is ingrained so much in our behavior to do that. So yeah, the life cycle, having kids, seeing these patterns reemerging, somebody has to break the cycle,
Yeah.
otherwise it's just going to go on and on and on. And there are few people in the world that are like stepping up and out more and more now, thankfully, grateful for that. It's just like, how can I break this? Whatever. And I come back to addiction, but it's not just alcohol. Addiction to screen, addiction to behavior, addiction to shopping, spending, what's pulling you away from being in the moment? That's the go, 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 go. And we can't be like, there's this fear of not of sitting with ourselves and expressing and feeling our emotions. And that's what drives us to do things. Fit Friday comes, I'm finished. Whoo, let's go home, have a drink. And then what do? You just stuff it down. And then everything, that dopamine hits like, oh, life is fine. Life is good. Life is great. Life is glorious. I can't wait until next week. Letter H. I can wait because G is great. It's
Okay.
groundbreaking.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we are about out of time. Do you have any last words? What are you up to this week? And by the way, next Friday I am on the road, so we're going to have to switch it around to so we'll make sure we let you all know what the new date time is.
Yeah.
Driving the big rig on the road, here I go.
You got to get a video of you driving somehow. Okay, can you do that?
Oh,
Get it out
well,
there.
I will see my son in 10 days, 11 days or
Oh, good,
so.
good,
So first time somebody's going to be sitting in the passenger seat of my RV. So I may have them do that.
good. Okay, to wrap it up, then I would say that really be mindful about where you want to grow, what path you want to take, what your goals are, short and long term, and get a game plan together. And you can do that. Just go to town and just connect with people to help you, to maybe remove those golden handcuffs, but use gratitude, because every moment that we are alive is a gift.
And you got anything fun coming up for people to sign up for this week?
I've got no, I don't even know. No, I just like join us. I got things coming up. I've got some really good inner child healing work. I've developed a new program, and I'll be launching that soon. So what about you?
Excellent.
How can you summarize
Well,
with
I
kindness?
want to thank you for the visualization that you gave me for the inner child workshop. So
Mhm.
it is very, very helpful. I've been going to sleep with it at night, and I smile at certain parts of it. So if you have not checked out Janine's stuff, she'll give you part of the package is personalized audio that
Yeah.
really reflect who you are, what you want out of life. So thank you. So I
Thank you.
listen to you almost every night now. And
Good.
so, for me, the big G word is gift. And I forget that myself sometimes. And it is to see
Mhm.
what we have as a gift. And certainly there are stresses that push down on me and that push down on us. And some days it is really, really hard to get up and continue on. But walk outside, see life as a gift, and move forward. I'm working on these dream life retreats.
Yeah.
I'm so really excited because I've been doing stuff on my own for the longest time, and now I'm working with these two really great coaches in San Diego area. So April 22nd is my first dream life retreat. So I'm working on that. If anybody's in San Diego area,
Good.
hey, check out our links.
Share.
You can find that
Yeah.
information. You can find resources for both of us.
Good. April 22nd, Earth Day, which is very grounding. So I leave
Yes.
with the question, what kind of game plan can you make to ground yourself should you find your emotions becoming out of control or unmanageable? Um, and I do have something that might help you. It's a magic morning ritual. And it's a template that you can use, and you can create your own goals in there, daily goals. And I'll throw that link in there because it, it's a world of go, 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 but we got to stop sometimes and
Yeah.
figure out what we want.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, it's been fun. So let's. I'll end the recording and then we'll close out of Facebook. But thanks for watching, and until next week. So hope you enjoyed the letter G.
Ciao, ciao.